A lot of us, we simply make it easy for the criminal to get into our home. And if you aren't locking your doors, then you're literally opening your door, opening your home to a criminal. One of the first things they do, they're going to check the door, see if it's unlocked. If it's unlocked, they're coming in. Prior to that, they're going to knock on your door and ring your bell. See if you're home. Sometimes people, because they don't want to be disturbed, they have a habit, they don't answer their door. Any of you ever do that?
All the time.
Okay, the problem with that is, if I'm a burglar and I'm ringing your bell to see if you're home, and you're hiding, you're in there looking, I'm not being bothered, that guy's trying to sell something. You don't open your door, I go around the back and I break in. We've had that happen here in Windsor, it's happened in towns around us, and literally throughout our region and country, that happens over and over again. So I'm not telling you to open your door, in fact I'm telling you the exact opposite, but I'm saying you must answer your door. You must say, who is it? It's me.
No.
Me who? Well, I'm trying to sell so-and-so, looking for my dog. I lost my horse. Whatever, it doesn't matter what they're saying. What matters is you don't want any. And what you tell them, if they want to use your phone, you say no. If you want, you can offer to make a phone call for them. But one of the things you can do is say, you know what? I know some people who can help you. They reside at 340 Bloomfield Avenue. That's the police department. You call there and say, listen, there's a guy out here, his car broke down, he lost his horse, he's looking for his cat, whatever. But they'll tell you a whole bunch of stories to try to get you to open that door. And you don't want to open your door, but you want to let them know that you're home. It's a big mistake. We see it a lot with senior citizens, but we also see it with a group that we call latchkey kids. If any of you have kids or grandkids that stay home alone, oftentimes parents will tell them, don't answer that door for anybody. And they're doing what their parents say. There was a situation in another town where a kid was home from school sick. His parents had told him exactly that. The guy came, rang the doorbell, then went around back and was breaking in. The kid yelled and called 911. He had his phone called, the guy ran. The problem is, what happens if the guy decides not to run? What if they decide to come after you to stop you from calling 911? So you could avoid that by simply answering the door. We had a situation not too far from here, actually, with an elderly woman. She was upstairs, heard the doorbell, looked down. I'm not going out. I don't know that guy. And then she, a little while later, heard some noise, went down, he was breaking in, climbing in her back window. Through an unlocked window, of course. Climbing in, and she said, what are you doing? And he actually said, I'm looking for my son's bike. While he's climbing in her window. And she was like, it's not in here. And he ran. Now again, that's a happy ending because no one was hurt. But what could have happened was he could have tried to force his way in and do something else. That whole situation, that contact could have been avoided by her barely answering the door. How you doing? What can I do? And that was the story that he already made up. And it was so entrenched in his mind, even though he was caught climbing in her window, he still said the same thing. You know, but the story they say is not as important as the fact they will have a story, and you shouldn't fall for it. So start with, first thing you do is lock your doors, lock your windows. Secondly, always answer your door and your phone. Because if you have your phone number listed, particularly in the book that's put out by Rotary Club, you got that little phone book, your phone number's in there, your address. I live in town, so I get it. But I'm a burglar. So I get it, and I go, 250 Main Street. You all know we don't have a 250 Main Street, but I'm fictitious, being fictitious here. And 250 Main Street, James Smith. So I call the number. Nobody answers. James Smith not home at 250 Main Street. I'm going to 250 Main Street to break in. Because I'm right outside the house with my cell phone calling. You don't answer the phone. He's coming in believing that there's no one home. How you doing?
Good. I had an incident about 6 months ago. I was in the yard and these two guys walked in. Hi, how you doing? Boy, you're very prosperous. This house is great. Look at this. You must be well off. Oh? Wait a minute, am I well off? And they were both, all of a sudden, there was two of them. One started walking around me to the back of me, so I started to sashay around facing the one who was facing me so I could always keep the eye on the guy in back of me, who was trying to move around in back of me. He says, do you have a telephone we could use? Yeah. Let me get my wife. We'll get a cell phone out here and you could use it. So I walked in, told my wife there was two people out there, blah, blah, blah. And so I came back out with a cell phone, and she said, well, she'll call them, please let you know where you are and what you're doing. I was a recon Marine, and I was ready to...
Simple fine.
Doesn't make any difference. There are two of them and one of me, and I'm not 21 years old anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I did the only thing I could think of. I had to call the police.
Outstanding. And so did they come out?
Yeah, they came up, but the guys disappeared. They went through somebody's backyard.
Okay.
They weren't down the street, and I told them where they were, and that's the last time I heard of it.
Correct in calling the police. As I said, get a situation like that and those type of scams, and I was going to get to that later, but since you already brought it up. This time of year, spring is here, and people are outside working in the yard. Even when you are outside working in your yard, you should keep your door locked.
Oh, yeah.
We've had burglaries occur with people outside in the yard. We've had burglaries occur with people outside in the yard and someone inside. We had a situation where a woman was going around committing burglaries all through unlocked doors, and most of them while the people were home. What she would do is she'd see someone outside cutting the grass. So she'd come inside, and her story was if she got caught, which in this one burglary she did get caught, she was inside and the woman said, hey, and she said, oh, your father told me to ask you if you saw my dog. And the girl was like, no, I didn't see him. So she left. But unbeknownst to the girl, she had already taken some items from the house. She had already secreted them in her pocket, so she left. So later on that evening, the father comes in, that he's finished, and the girl says, hey, did that lady ever find her dog? He was like, what lady? The lady you sent in here to ask me. He's like, I didn't see a lady, I didn't send a lady in. So they called us, and we found out that some stuff was missing, and that she had went into a couple other homes. Fortunately, we were able to catch her.
Okay.
But what they'll do is, they will come into your home, assuming that, first off, there's no one else in there because you're outside working, but if someone is, they're actually smart enough to use you as a part of the ploy.
But I saw the door open, but I didn't see her, so I got on my cell phone and called the police, and they sent 4 cruisers up. And the one officer, I see him around, went in and knocked on the door.
Okay.
And she came up to me the next day, oh, we're so thankful but you don't need, I called my neighbor across the street, and she says, oh, she leaves both doors open, the front door and the rear door, in case there's a breeze. I said, that's dangerous, because the front door, if you're in the front door, somebody's going to come up, you can see the front door is open. They know, but the rear door, they can come in the rear door. Because she was, her house was invaded before. At nighttime, a car drove in, and I was up walking with a friend of mine who was walking a dog, and it was like midnight. What am I walking a dog?
Well, one of the things, as I mentioned, even if you're out in your yard, people have a false sense of security. We had a situation where a woman had her car taken while she was out in the yard, working in the yard. They walked in the house, got the car keys, went out, got in the car, and left.
Yeah.
If you leave your doors unlocked, someone can walk in. What you want to do is keep your door locked. Just put your keys in your pocket while you're outside working in your yard, because your focus is going to be on the yard work, and you may not notice. The situation, I'm sorry, what's your name, sir?
Mr. Story.
Mr. Story?
Yeah.
Mr. Story brought up, that is very common. Two people will come in, I'll try to distract Mr. Story while he sneaks around to the back and sneaks in the house. He doesn't steal any large items. He'll go into your checkbook, and they're not taking the first check they get to. They're gonna go down inside and take the 14th or 15th check, so you don't notice that it's gone until it's too late.
Yeah.
And they may even take your credit card or some money. Now they just leave. Person who's been out talking with you, he says, all right, I'm out of here. He leaves. It could be a week, 2 weeks later, you realize, hey, I'm missing some checks. And money's gone, and you don't even recall that this guy came to your yard 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but he was walking around behind me, and I was worried about he was going to try and take my wallet.
Yeah.
Answer your door.
No. Answer your door. Don't open the door, I said.
Okay, I just want to be clear.
When you answer the door, you say, who is it? They'll say, it's so-and-so, I want such and such. And you tell them, you can't help them. If they ask to use your phone, you tell them I can make a phone call for you. If you need some assistance, I can call the police. They'll come and help you. You know, they'll help you with whatever it is that you need help with. But do not open that door for a stranger that you don't know. They want you to open the door. They want to try to get inside your home. We've had many a situation, I got to use the bathroom, I got anything. They have a whole host of stories. They'll see you in your yard. They'll come and offer, hey, I could do your driveway. I could seal your driveway for you. I could power wash your home. I could fix your shutters. I could shingle your roof, whatever. They'll offer, they say they can do every and anything. And all they really want to do is separate you from your money. And one person will distract you while another will sneak into your home and take some things. That is a very common scam. It happens all the time.
I saw this car coming down the street, turned the lights down, and they turned the engine off, and it just slid right into this woman's driveway. She has both the rear and the front door open.
Wow.
And she was asleep in the house. They went in. I called the police. The police came up. They caught there was a woman in the car, the truck. They went in and they found the guy hiding in the house.
Yep.
He took off
He ran.
and ran. They let the dogs loose.
Yep.
They got a home invasion up at the end of the street, the doctor's house. They found the young fellow came in about 19, and he was armed. Not with a gun, but a knife.
Yeah.
But they found him and they called the police. Cops got him.
Yeah.
But it was scary because the whole neighborhood. Now we have a neighborhood watch,
Yes.
and the person who is in charge of the watch is a fellow that my daughter grew up with. Huh?
He says it's Zimmerman. I told him, don't say that.
No, no. Fellow who my daughter grew up with. He's about 6'7" and 45 years old. So he's a big guy.
Okay.
But I'm just saying is that he goes around and says, if I see you, just call me. And he's a contact to call the police.
I just wanted to ask you, you said we should always answer the phone.
Yes.
Well, I get phone calls with all these crazy numbers on it, and they say private. Numbers that I don't know.
Yes.
I never pick up. Or I'll pick up, say hello, and if nobody says hello, I hang up right away.
Yes. And that's good enough. If you don't want to talk to them, you don't have to talk to the people on the phone, because just by you picking up, they realize that someone's home. And oftentimes, if you see private, that's a situation where a person is blocking their number, and because they don't want you to know where they're calling from. And sometimes it's various different solicitors that do that. Right now, a lot of political calls, they don't put private, but a lot of political calls you're getting, and those things. But if you're home, I'm telling you, you should answer the phone. You don't have to talk to the people. Listen, I don't want any, I don't want Go ahead, hello, I'm busy, bye, and hang up.
You just pick it up and don't say
Because
anything
they
in it.
know that someone's home.
Oh,
And I want people to realize that you're home.
Thank you.
there's, I believe people are calling you up to find out if somebody is home. And that is, this is the volunteer fire department for
Yeah, they want fundraisers. A lot of the fundraisers, they want you to be home.
fundraiser, yeah.
Yeah, because they want to, but just don't, if you don't want to,
Yeah, but you don't know who they are.
yeah, but the minute they start talking, you got to tell them, listen, I don't want any, kid, I'm busy, and hang the phone up.
And now I just hang up. I just
Yeah,
say,
you can
sorry,
do
I
that.
gave at the office.
And that's
Okay.
what you're right. What I'm telling you is, a lot of thieves use that ploy, they want to figure out if someone's home. After making sure, again, that your windows and doors are locked, other thing you can do, how many people have a lot of, in their landscaping around their home, a lot of large brush and trees? If you have a lot of that, where your house is almost secreted, where your house is hidden from the street and hidden from your neighbors, and that might provide you with a certain amount of privacy, but it also provides a criminal with a lot of privacy to come and walk around your house and pick the easiest way to get into your house without being seen from the street or from your neighbors. So I can't tell you to cut all your brush, but I will do is strongly suggest that if you have anything in front of your windows, if you look out these windows here, see how clear that is, we can see right outside? That's how you should be able to look out your home. You shouldn't have large, if this is a tree, and imagine this goes all the way up in this window, and now no one can see me. So if I can't get in because it's locked, I can break the window and not worry about being seen because I'm hidden behind this tree that you put there for me. And those are some of the things that they look for. And the reason why I say what they look for, one of the things that we do as police officers, when we catch a criminal, we often will ask, what made you pick this house over that other one? And they will tell us a lot of the same things I'm telling you right now. Is that I'm looking for a house that's empty, number one. Because they don't want that confrontation. Because most burglars know, particularly now in Connecticut, the way our laws have changed, breaking into an empty house, the crime is less than breaking into a house with you in there, and I know you in there, and now I'm confronted with you. Breaking into a house in the daytime is less than breaking into a house at night. So those are the things that's why most burglaries occur in the daytime. Number one, most people, a significant amount of people are not at home. But other thing, burglars know that the crime level is different.
Like, let's say I'm going down south for 6 months,
Yes.
and the house is all in darkness.
Get timers for your lights. Don't have all your lights come on at 5 and go off at 8, where it's the same time. Have one light in the room come on at 6, another one might come on at 9, one at 6 can go off at 8, one at 9 can go off at 10, and another night in the bathroom might come on at 12, where it looks like someone is home. Lights on, and those timers you can buy them relatively cheaply from various different stores, and I won't pick any store over another, but department stores, the home do-it-yourself stores, they all have various different, and now they're so much better than the old ones.
Should you notify the police that you're going to be
You can
out?
notify the police, but most police departments, it's not like years ago, we used to do vacant home checks. We don't do that anymore. And I don't know if any police department around that does, but it will be, I mean, it would not hurt for you to say that you're gone, because then if someone were to call and say, hey, there's someone, I would recommend that you tell a trusted friend and neighbor. If you have your newspaper delivery, obviously you're gonna be gone for 6 months, you stop that, your mail would be stopped. But having motion lights, I recommend motion lights rather than turning on outside lights, because if you have outside lights on, first off, if you're gone, they're gonna be on all the time. But motion lights work real well. Number one, economically, they're only on when something is moved and caused them to come on, so they're not using as much electricity. The other piece is, if I'm sneaking into your backyard and that motion light comes on, now I don't know if it's a motion light or you heard me or someone heard me and turned on a light. I'm not gonna stay around and look. It also doesn't afford me the opportunity to move in the shadows. if there are lights on in your backyard, you have a spotlight in your backyard, it's on all the time, every night. Well, I can make my way through your backyard using the shadows. One of the things, those of you who have heard me speak before know that I command our regional SWAT team. And one of the things that we're approaching the house from at night from the rear and lights are on, it's easy for us to stay in the shadows. But if those houses have motion lights, it's a lot more difficult because you're moving and all of a sudden that light comes on, it's going to catch you. It's going to highlight you. And the last thing I want to do is be noticed if I'm a thief trying to sneak around in your backyard. So I would strongly suggest, if you don't already have them, put in motion lights. If you're not at home, tell a neighbor, tell a family member, someone if they can come and walk around your home. Having timers on your on lights. Also a radio, and I like a radio turned into a talk radio station, not music, because from outside, if I'm passing by, if I'm listening, let's say if I'm going to read, it sounds like someone's home. You just hear talking inside. So have a talk radio, things like that, to make it look used. If you have 2 cars, you're taking 1 car with you, whether it be on vacation or going away for a weekend. I know you like to keep the car in the garage, but if you put a car outside, it makes it again appear as if someone's home. You leave the car outside in the yard and park it sort of askew. By that I mean like a little slant, like as if someone, like I just came in for quickly, I parked my car quickly. So now if I'm casing the neighborhood, look at that car parked there, that person just drove up in their yard. It looks like someone's home. Cars out in the yard, cars in the garage, you know, they don't know until they go up to the house. If I'm walking by and I'm trying to pick again, I say the thieves, they're like electricity and water. They're gonna follow the path of least resistance. So, excuse me, I'm driving through your neighborhood. I see a car in that driveway. I'm gonna assume that someone's home. Right next door, there's no car. The car's in the garage. I'm gonna get out and go check it out. I'm not gonna waste my time where it looks like someone's home, even if there ultimately ends up and there's no one home. I want the job to be as easy as possible. So I'm looking for places where there's no one there. Or at the very least, it looks like no one there. So that's what you want to do. If you're going away, if you have a car that you can leave in the yard, I strongly recommend you leave it in the yard. Tell someone who can walk around your home, check your home out for you. If you go away, a lot of people do it for a weekend. They don't stop paper delivery. Have someone put that paper. The other thing, and this is something to think about, if you're in a neighborhood where you have regularly scheduled trash day, a thing, again, a thief told me this, that what he does is he likes to go around on trash day, because if there's no trash can out, he figures those people are not at home. There's no one putting out the trash. So if you're going away, we're going to have someone put the trash out. Put the can out.
What they be thinking?
Oh yeah, they think. They think about everything except getting a job and going to work.
That's work
They think
right
about,
there.
they think about how to get in your house.
Oh my God.
So I drive through your neighborhood, their trash can's out, that was out, the next one is not out. Well, if that person just lazy today, that they're not having any trash, or they're not home.
What we do is we leave the trash, if we go away. The trash can is there, but it's in front of the garage door, not in the garage.
Yep.
So the person just say, come by and say, oh, they didn't put they're lazy, they just put the garage front.
And they could think that. But if you have it where it's visible, if you can have someone, if you had a friend in the neighborhood, hey, just put my can out there. Even if there's no trash in it, if the truck pick it up, it's empty, put it back down, there's no harm, no foul, they take it in for you. But having that's just something, again, that a thief will look for to determine whether or not there's someone home.
What about having a dog?
I think dogs are great, big dogs.
Well, I was thinking of a little dog, like.
Well, it definitely will alert you and
Yeah.
it'll make noise.
It doesn't, it barks.
And they will bark, and if you're home, a little dog is great. Because when you come by the house, it's gonna tell someone. But unfortunately, I've been to a few burglaries where the little dog has been placed in a closet or the bathroom. They didn't hurt it, they just put it in the closet or the bathroom.
Okay.
Now you have a big dog that's in the house. Very few burglars wanna mess with it. In fact, I can remember very specifically a street where it seemed like until we caught this guy, this was some many years ago, thank you. Until we caught this guy, he was like he was gonna get hit every home on the street, except for 3. 2 had a German Shepherd, 1 had a Doberman Pinscher. He left those homes away.
Oh, don't, I
He
went
left
to
them
someone
alone.
else.
Because those dogs are inside, and people say, oh, they can poison them, they can do this, but why would they? Just gonna leave it alone. I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm gonna go to your house when you don't have a dog. I'm gonna leave that dog alone. But again, that's if you're at home, a dog that barks, because a dog over an alarm system only gonna go off when they come into your house. A dog, as you well know, if you have a dog, gonna bark the minute they hit your driveway. That dog's gonna start barking and alert you to the fact that someone's around the home. More importantly, alerting them. And they don't wanna hear that noise, they don't wanna deal with it, so they'll move away.
So what do they do if they come into the home and the alarm system is triggered?
Well, they wanna get in and out as quick as they can. The problem with alarms, and it varies from company to company, but is the alarm company, to make sure that it's not a false alarm, they call you first.
They call.
How many people have ever had an alarm? Ever accidentally trip it? All right? You get a call from the alarm company, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you what, again, this comes from a thief, and actually I know a case what happened. Hello, I'm visiting from out of town. My cousin, let me go get the alarm code from upstairs. And you know what the alarm company gonna do? They're gonna wait, and I'm gonna go and take your television and leave.
Oh.
And I'll come back to the phone. Hold up, I'm just getting it. I gotta find it. And they'll let me stay on the phone for a while before they realize they call us, but it's too late.
Oh my God.
ADT calls the police.
Yeah, after they call
My
you.
alarm went off, that's right.
They called you first.
Right, yeah.
They call you first, and that delay sometimes is all a good thief would need. But again, having an alarm is better than no alarm. Most thieves, if they see that sign, why am I gonna bother with it when your neighbor don't have an alarm? I'm gonna go get your neighbor's house. The other piece, and again, as I said earlier, look at nice clear day, it's beautiful outside, we can see outside. The problem is people outside can see and hear. And a lot of you have some nice stuff in your house. You might have a nice camera, you might have a camera like the one that's pointed at me. You might have a nice video game system, some good stuff all sitting around your house, big flat screen TV. So anybody walking by can look in and see it. They're window shopping. So your neighbor though, they keep their blinds drawn when they're not home. You can't see inside. So again, if I'm a thief and I'm enterprising and I want to be sure I'm getting some good stuff, I can look into your house and see all that good stuff and go get it. Or I can go into the house and hope I might get some good stuff. Which house you think they're gonna pick?
The blinds open.
The ones where they can see all the good stuff. And they're gonna go and get it. So when you leave, and you leave that stuff open that way, where they can window shop, I know some of you have gone window shopping before, right? And you look in the window, not at a home, but when you go shopping, oh wow, look at that nice dress. Look at that nice whatever. I'm thinking about going in and buying it. They're not thinking about going in and buying it, they're thinking about going in and taking it. Yo, look at that nice television. Look at that radio right there. You know, that's something I want. I've been wanting a Wii system. And there's one sitting right there in front of me. So let me go get that because I know I can sell it. And I know there's one there. So, again, keeping your blinds drawn, not letting everyone take a peek inside and seeing it. And if you have an alarm system, and I don't want any of you to answer right now, but if you have one, you think to yourself, I will guarantee you, everybody here with an alarm system, their alarm system is not set right now. I know it's not. I know it's not, just like everybody's house is not locked. The alarm system does you no good if it's not turned on. I can't tell you how many times we've gone to a home that's been burglarized and there's an alarm, there's an alarm. I didn't turn it on. You paying for nothing. Because the alarm company didn't say, oh, we noticed you haven't been turning your alarm on, we're not gonna bill you this month. They don't say that. They gonna still send you a bill. And turning it on after the burglary is a day late and $1 short. So if you have an alarm system, it's only effective if you use it. Likewise, and I'm gonna say this over and again, the best lock in the world is completely useless if you don't turn it. And there's some people, we've seen some homes with some great locks, but they were just unlocked.
Yeah. True. Okay.
Now, a lot of people park their cars out in their yard. They never ever lock. Cars unlocked. Again, I can go out. If I go walk through this parking lot, I'll find unlocked cars. Not only do I find unlocked cars, I'll go walk through this parking lot and find unlocked cars with expensive items sitting there for me to look at and say that I want it. Everything from purses to computers, you name it. Left right in the front seat, right in plain view. Saying, come and get me. And those type of things, it's easy to protect yourself, but you have to take the steps to do it. We become complacent, and that complacency is what the thief is hoping for. Because not only do we leave the car unlocked and leave maybe a dollar bill sitting in the ashtray or in the center console that's visible, we leave the garage door opener in that unlocked car. So they can go right into your car and push that garage door opener. Bambo, garage opens. And that inside garage door, oh, y'all never lock that. Do you?
No.
You know you don't. So then they walk right into your house.
You don't have to do that.
They walk right into your house because you just let them in.
You always lock the door.
You gotta lock your door. Again, the locks do not work if you don't use them. For your car or your home. You have valuable items. If you want to leave it outside, and I don't feel like bringing this in, put it in your trunk or put it out of plain view and lock your doors. Lock your doors to your car. Lock your doors to your home. You have pressure around your home, cut it down low.
My husband had a small motorcycle, so he used that for work. I had the car for work.
Okay,
It was an older car,
okay.
and we left it in the driveway, locked up. His motorcycle was in the garage. And he got up and wanted to go to work, and he came back in the house and he said, Bob, where did the car go? I said, George, it's too early in the morning to be, give me a hard time, to ask me where the car went. The car doesn't go unless we take it. And he said, the car is not in the driveway. So I had to go down and look, came in, called the police, and they came up, and they took my husband off to the police station at 6 o'clock in the morning. Boy, this is gonna look good to the neighbors. And so they took all the information, and then they said, when we find it, we'll let you know. So I stayed home from work that day. About 10 o'clock, I got a phone call from a man in Wethersfield. He said that he had college kids, and they're always bringing someone home. So he said, I wondered who, I want to put the marker plate has my husband and my name on it. And he said he called the police. They came up and put all the black goo all over the car looking for fingerprints. And he said, I went into the compartment. That's how I found out it was your car. And he said, there's no gas in it at all. And what the Wethersfield police found was that it's a gang. It's not just one person. They tried to get gas from other cars on the street that were left out. And they came down with this gas container and went to put it in my car. for my husband to put a lock on the gas tank so they couldn't get it in. So they went up and down both sides of the street, and that's when, I don't know the name of them, these kind of radios we have now. And they stole from every one of the cars that had one. And they never found them. But ours was locked and it was in the driveway. So they knew someone was home.
So now let me ask you this. When they took your car, did you have a broken window or anything in your driveway?
Did they what?
Were there any broken glass in your driveway? Broken
Break
glass?
the window.
Did they break the window? How did they get in your car?
They broke. They used something to get into the car, and then they broke something.
The steering wheel car.
So
And then broke it. So they did actually. I was wondering if they had a key. What type of car was it?
LaSalle. It was my father's car.
Again, at night, outside, is it possible to take your car? And there are particular cars that are unfortunately are stolen a lot more than others. And
Excuse me, I always had the attitude, it's an old car, and who would ever steal it?
well, because it was easier for them to steal.
Well,
That's
there's
why.
something in the older cars that they wanted.
So
I don't know what it was, but
probably made from parts. But the problem with again, you had mentioned a dog. A dog in a situation like that, someone comes outside, alarm is going to only protect, as I said before, if they come in. A dog start barking if someone came up in your yard. A good dog, a good watchdog, will alert you, and they have a very specific barks. Anyone who has a dog, no, I have for years. That dog, my Rottweiler passed away, but the dog would bark very differently if someone was driving by the house, if they pulled in the yard, and it's just amazing the keen sense that dogs have. They can pick up, because at the time I was driving a Crown Victoria, and if I drove mine up, he didn't bark. But if one of my friends from the department was coming by, or at the time my mother used to have a Crown Vic, I'm like, how does he know the difference? Like, what is the difference of sound? In my wife's car, he could pick up, he didn't bark when she came home. He knew the difference, and would not bark when we came home. But if a different car drove up, even the same type of car, he immediately, and his barking was different when there was something in the yard versus just passing by. And good dogs are that way. But cars do get stolen. We're very fortunate, actually, for the third year in a row, auto thefts, particularly in our town, are down, and they're unbelievably low now compared to where they used to be. And I'm talking like, we have about 28,000, almost 29,000 residents, but we had less than 50 cars stolen in town all of last year. So the likelihood of someone having a car stolen is it's low. And I'm saying, really, it was under 30. It was very few cars stolen here last year. When I can remember years ago, over 20 years ago, those numbers used to be up in the hundreds. But those numbers have gone down. And a lot of it has to do with the newer cars are more difficult to steal. A lot of cars come, in fact, pretty much every car now comes with an alarm. So they're a little bit more difficult, and you have to work a little harder to steal them than you used to. And most of our cars, just like homes, they stole them with the keys in them. That's why I started to get in your car. The keys are inside. They stole them from places like gas stations, other places where people stop very quickly and they need their car running. Or I'm just running in real quick to get a cup of coffee. You're not that quick. You know, I wait outside, I watch you go in, I just go walk, literally walk and get in your car and drive off. We had a guy taking GPS systems from cars in gas stations. When people drive them, he just go and reach and take it. Take it right out. Car's unlocked, keys in it. So that sort of thing you have to watch out for. And there was a period, and it's slowed down now, where GPS thefts were just, they were amazing, Sky, and people were breaking in to get those because they were right there, they could see them, and you could sell them on the street for, you know, relatively a good amount of money. but that's gone down somewhat now. The street value for a GPS unit is not what it used to be. So thankfully, the thefts have gone down, although people still leave them sitting in plain view when they're not in their
What
car.
biggest crime here in Windsor?
Larceny, the biggest.
Larceny,
crime.
stealing.
Stealing.
Like, and I'm talking primarily shoplifting. Like small, and that's not just here in Windsor. There are probably more larcenies committed than any other crime. Because someone's always looking to separate you from your money. And there's so many ways to do it. We're talking primarily about home safety, but I'll just say this because I'm seeing a large purse in front of me, and there's always a large purse. When women go shopping, they often leave themselves open to be a victim of crime. They'll have their shopping cart, and you don't mind, I'll borrow your bag. But normally the bag is open. But whether even if it's closed, and my card is here, and you'll see this, and you'll see this when you leave here. If you go shopping, I don't care which grocery store you go to, and I'm over here trying to pick out something. I got a drink. And I'm over here trying to pick something out, and I just leave my cart behind. I'm looking for Cheerios, Wheaties, whatever. Oatmeal. I'm not paying attention. You can come up behind me, go in my purse, take my wallet out. Don't take the purse, just take the wallet and just walk away. Now you get up, you go pay for your stuff. Oh, I can't find my wallet, I must have lost it. You don't even think that it's been stolen. So you don't report it stolen. You go back home, you look all over for it, you can't find it. Now you call and report. You don't call the police, you call your credit card company, you say, hey, I lost my wallet somewhere. You didn't lose it, it was stolen. That happens fairly often. And again, it's easy to avoid. You know, keep your purse on your body. Those of you who've had my personal safety presentation know, I say if you have something like this, and she said, don't put anything of value. And I say of no value, keep your personal items in this big one, but your money, your credit card, have those things in something small that you can either put in your pocket or have against your body. You know, small body purse, you know the ones I'm talking about? Something like that. And then you have this with the other stuff, something, yeah, like that. Then you have this with some of all that other stuff. You know all the stuff you ladies carry, like a sink, television. You know all the stuff you have in there. You have so much stuff in the purse, I have no idea what's in there. The purse would have to, but again, I'm not looking for that. Again, I'm looking for the easiest. I'm looking for the easiest target.
Yeah.
They can always do. They can just come up to you with a gun and tell you, give me everything.
Yeah.
But the crime is different. Also, again, understand that you're dealing with primarily an educated individual, educated in terms of the law. If I come up and push her or physically take that from him and he got $2 in there, I've got a robbery. I'm going to jail for much more time for that than for the person who got the 5,000 over here.
Why?
Larceny is, robbery is larceny by force. Because I've used force, that's a crime. That violent crime, we punish violent crimes more seriously, and rightfully so. So, again, if I'm a thief, I'm looking for the easy target. I don't want to have to fight you for your purse. Why should I? There's a whole bunch of ladies who'll be walking around leaving their purse for me to go in there and take what I want. Why should I fight him for that? What if there's nothing in there?
My in-laws are gone now, but my mother-in-law was fearful of being robbed. I mean, she was 88 years old. So I told her, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, just I could be arrested for it. Take a 9-inch hat pin, put it up to your sleeve of your coat. And if somebody comes at you, put it in it and go right for his heart. Bam! He'll be dead before he hits the ground. That'll stop him right away.
Well, what I try to tell people, you don't want to try to go out with your intent is to, because oftentimes, more often than not, when people carry weapons of that sort, they end up getting it taken from them. Because in a perfect world, yeah, she could do that, and I guess she could, if she was that accurate, she could go and she could kill him. But what if this person now defends themselves, they parry that, but by parry I mean move that to the side. Now they take that from her, and they're angry now. So originally they were just gonna take some money. Now they hurt her. So you have to be real careful. The person just wants to take your money's not worth your life or worth you getting hurt over. Now to defend your personal self, yeah, you have to do what you have to do. You know, but protecting for money is not worth it.
Okay, I have one question. Is it okay to put the mail out the night before, except if it's a check-in? You recommend it, okay.
I don't recommend it again because we had a woman once, she was walking down the street, just going in everybody's mailbox, taking and over. Yeah. So people do steal from mailboxes, they will. But I would not leave mail out the night before because that allows a person now to do that under cover of darkness. And why even do that? The mailman's not coming the night before.
We were subject to a scam last week. I thought it was my grandson who called up. He's 21.
Windsor.
And he was crying. And he said that he was in jail in Mexico City. I reported to the police department in Mexico City, and he needed $2,800 for bail money. Then he put on a man who said he was from the U.S. Embassy.
Yeah.
And he confirmed it, and he told me to take the money to Western Union, which is a price choppers.
Huh?
And you know, I really believed it.
And you did it.
Uh-huh. I believed it because he was crying, and I just thought, never occurred to me this may not be my grandson Michael. So I said I would take care of it, and the guy even gave me his phone number, which he said was in Mexico City, and I called the bank. And I told I asked the bank now, you're going to have to come and write out a check to the bank to get the cash. And she said, you know, this doesn't sound right to me. She's a young woman who's the branch manager. Rob, I would not do that if I were you. So I called my son in Rochester. He said, Michael's in the dorm. I just talked to him. He's going to the bathroom. He's not in Mexico City. So I called a telephone company. I changed my phone number. I had an unlisted number. And when that guy called me back, I told him to never dare call me. And I'm telling everybody. And the question is, how do they know all this private information, where I live, my telephone number? I have a grandson named Michael.
I'm gonna tell you how.
What?
Michael,
Yeah.
Facebook. I can go on Facebook, here's grandpa, here's grandma, here's so-and-so, this is that. I go to this school, I do such and such. I'm going to Twitter, I'm going to the bathroom right now. I'm getting a presentation from Kelvan Kearse. Everything they do. All the personal information is right out there.
How about people write to each other on email?
They don't have to, not through email. I mean, they can, again, there are means in which a person can go in and someone who's computer savvy and get into email. They don't have to do that. Go to Michael's Facebook page. All that information that they need is there. And so they call, and then they will call people, and they will say, because you had a list of phone number, they'll use that. That is an extremely common scam. That is so common every year. Literally thousands of senior citizens across this country are bamboozled. Because one of the things they will usually say is, don't tell mom or dad. I don't want them to know I'm in trouble. Yeah, they don't want you to call them, because if you call them, you'll find out it's a scam. That's the real reason. And what I'm telling you is that is extremely common, and that scam is used over and over. If somebody calls and says this your grandson, your granddaughter, and they need money, hang up and call your daughter or son and find out where they actually are.
But how do they get the grandson or granddaughter's voice? I mean,
Yeah.
wouldn't you
That
know?
don't have to, listen, crying, the reason why they're crying is to help mask their voice. Again, that's very common. Because if I sound upset, you say, you don't know who is that? Is that Michael? Who is that? That's somebody crying. How many times when the last time you heard Michael cry? See what I'm saying? So you don't know if that's Michael crying, or that's why you believed it. It was a person that they weren't crying. It was like, I need $2,800. I mean, come on. That's what they do.
And then it turned out that the guy was calling from Canada.
That's very, listen, Nigeria, Canada, Europe, then Mexico, in that order, that's where most scams come from, that we get hit by. And the reason why they want to go out of country, because we can't investigate that.
That's what
Who's investigating it? FBI's not going to go do it for your $2,800. That money's lost.
My wife pays a lot of bills online.
I'm going to tell you something. I'm a big person. I do not believe in it. I don't like it. My wife used to do it, and our bank account got hit like that. It's funny, the money I sent to Mexico, over $1,000. And see, I was checking on my phone, and I was like, what the heck? My wife sent it, and it was sent in weird increments. But I couldn't tell where it was going. I thought she sent it to my son in college. I called her. She said no. I said, call the bank. While she was on phone with the bank, they were trying to do another $2,000 in various different, right while she was talking, and they were able to stop it. So anybody could be a victim of a scam, and I've been dead set against my wife doing that online banking. I didn't like it because, again, you just open yourself up to something that you don't have to be opened up to.
So don't pay bills online.
I'm not telling you not to. I'm saying that I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it at all.
Thank you.
One thing I was going to suggest is, and you probably have more knowledge than me, never, but never keep a loaded gun in the house.
That's true.
A friend of mine, well, this woman I was talking to at this thing we had here a couple of weeks ago, she's an amateur shooter, so she kept her gun loaded. Her son came home from the military. He didn't want to wake her, so he snuck into the house. So she pulled the gun out, and she's ready to use it. And he says, hey, Mom, it was her son. And she said,
Well, there's a story
I almost killed my own son.
There's a story more tragic than I know. A police officer in, I won't say the town, southern Connecticut, shot his daughter, who was sneaking back, who had snuck out and sneaking back in.
And when we left, we was working there, we took him off. We threw him up on the shelf. Nobody will find him up there. See, my daughter was saying, I said, where are your friends? Oh, so they're outside reading your Playboy magazines.
And I'll be back again. Again, like I said, I wanted to really focus on home safety, locking your doors, lock your windows, keep brush around your house cut low, get motion detectors if you don't already have them.
Yeah.
If you're going to be away, use timing devices for your lights, also a radio if possible. Tell a neighbor, tell a friend, good neighbor, good friend. Have someone put your trash out for you. Don't leave newspapers, mail collected in your home. Always answer your door, don't open it, but answer it. Answer your phone the same way. If people need some help, always tell them police can help them, call the police for them. If they really need help, they'll stay. If they don't, you'll be surprised at how quickly they disappear from in front of your house. So those are some things that I want you to think about. More importantly, that I want you to do. If you're a female out shopping with a large purse, don't leave it in your carriage unattended, ever. All right, and that's pretty much it.